Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Baldur's Gate 2, the Enhanced Edition, The Shadows of Arm. And when last we left off, we now have the second head of the Flail of the Ages, specifically the Acid Head. We got it by fighting the person who'd been magically charmed to serve the invading forces, though this wasn't a combat that was compulsory. We could very well have avoided bloodshed by using something like Dispel Magic to break the enchantment. Though if we'd have done that, we'd have got experience for doing so, and the head of the Flail of the Ages, though we wouldn't have got the full plate that he was wearing, and we can always do with more loot. We also have to deal with the fact that that person took out Hexat before they were killed, though Hexat isn't permanently gone from the party. Being a vampire, she reverted to her gaseous form, dropped all her possessions, and then went back to her coffin, which is in the bag of holding. To get her back, we're going to have to rest. She will recuperate and return with full health after we have rested. We should also change your spells a bit, Edwina. I want to get rid of this and prepare another haste for no reason whatsoever. It's definitely for a very important reason. Let us rest. 8 hours later, and Hexat is back, with full health as well. Let's have her grab all of this stuff here that we can immediately equip to her, and then free up more space so that she can hold on to more things. We'll have her grab these as well, and that gem. The gem can go into this bag. You can have your bow, and your blade, and these arrows. We want you to equip the flame arrows right now. You can have your armor. That can go there. This can go here. There are your boots. There are those bracers, and all of these potions that I might even end up using. Who knows? Put those there. And you can have the spell scrolls and those arrows, because you can identify them, and you can hold on to those. Might as well hold on to that as well. And you can grab those spare arrows. What are those arrows you have there? Arrows of piercing +1. They're pretty useful. You might as well hold on to them, though I want you to have those ones at the ready. There we go.
I will tolerate only
We're as
so
ready
much.
as we'll ever be to continue exploring. And there's one room over here that we haven't had a look at. Is there anything important in here? Let's find out. There's a chest that we cannot open, and a secret door in that room that we can't even see, because there's a wall in the way. Maybe there's a tiny hole in the wall that allows us to notice that that's there, or it's just because that's a really easy to spot secret wall. It definitely is a really easy to spot secret wall, because that is a very important one for this quest. Imagine if you went into here without a thief and you couldn't find that. It'd be very difficult to complete the quest if you couldn't find that. You'll find out soon enough why. But first we have to get to there, which involves going all the way around this corridor. We might as well open this up, revealing another way to the roof. And now we can go this way. It's the only door that we haven't opened, apart from this one. There's a big unexplored area here that we're going to want to have a look at, because there are quite a few goodies in there for us. Heavily guarded goodies, sadly. By trolls? No. By something far worse than trolls. Let's open this up using the key that we have. Hello.
Do not disturb my duties.
Hold! How did you get in here? Who are you? I am Terry Coleman. I have been hired by Nalia to clear out this keep of its invaders. Oh, thank the gods! You cannot believe how relieved I am to see you then. Not only have I been barricaded in here fighting against trolls, but you cannot believe the audacity of this woman. The Lady Delia is the Lord's sister, and she is a trial, to say the least. I have been tempted to strangle her myself more than a dozen times. I suggest you speak to Lady Delia further. She will decide what to do, I suppose. And it will be the first break I've had from her in days. She's seen us, so she's heading this way to have a conversation. If she can get past the guard. She may not be able to get past the guard. We may have to go past the guard to initiate dialogue. As much as I'm going to regret this.
Oh, 'tis like a nightmare. Yet more hooligans tracking their filth through the halls.
I told your commander you'll get no more from me than condemnation, marching into a home like this. You are the lady of the house? I have come on behalf of your daughter. My daughter? You mean young Nalia? She is my niece. Her mother passed when Nalia was but 2 seasons. Caught some pestilence from those peasants she so loved to coddle. I dare say I have tried to wean Nalia off such charities, but I have failed. Why else would such as you be here? You sound like a noble, but you are obviously more adept at arms than societal graces. Oh well, those that beg cannot afford to be choosy. At least that is the phrase as I have heard it. Shall we get to the business of a rescue? I assume that is what you are here for. Please do be quick about it. I am catching an alarming sniffle and could do with a warm fire. If I catch my death, I'll have the hide of the peasant in charge of the heat. We come as your rescuers and you spit venom? I don't know about Terry, but I don't like your attitude. I'd like to see you squirm for once, I think. Do you now? Perhaps you are unsure where your place is? Below mine, and while your current actions may place my life in your hands, they certainly do not elevate you above your true station. Your role is to rescue such as me and to be thankful for the opportunity, or do you intend to save only those that fit your ideal? I was not aware that heroes were allowed to be so choosy. I am not evil, nor am I your enemy. I am simply your better, and the better of those that serve me. Now stand aside and let me pass. I've languished here quite long enough. There is the option to just kill her. It is a tempting option. But she is right. She is not our enemy. She's just really snooty and really horrible. We'll let her go. We have bigger problems than her. As you say, milady, you are free of this place. Well, nicely voiced for someone of dubious breeding. Perhaps... No, one must remember one's station. I will find Nalia. At least she stayed out of the... combat. And if you would, Lord D'Arnis is still at the mercy of the beasts below. He is Nalia's father, and I believe they are trying to get him to reveal something about a cache of gold. I doubt he will say a word. He's as soft as Nalia at times, but he does not lower himself to dealing with his lessers. Do rescue him, will you? It is your duty, I believe. I think a month of tortures amongst the spiders of Loth would remove her sense of superiority. The Elg Caress would know when she meets her betters, blood or no blood. Ah! I'd like it more if my duty was to pull the blue-blooded wench over my lap and show her a time like no lady I've e'er met. Ha ha! And so they both leave, and the guard is very glad at the opportunity to leave. She's going that way, which does sort of reveal that there is a secret there. She just disappeared into thin air, as everyone does after a while, and we can open this up, revealing two more secret doors. One here, and one here. You can see that there are potential foes in there. In here are the stairs that lead all the way down to the basement. In here are a bunch of golems, and they are currently not hostile. We have an iron golem, a stone golem, a flesh golem, another stone golem, a clay golem, and a flesh golem. They are guarding the things in here, but there is one item that we can safely take without angering any of them, and that is the final head of the Flail of the Ages, the Firehead. We have everything that we need to assemble the flail, and we could just leave. But I'm not just going to leave, because I want everything else as well. And there's a good way to get everything else. We could use invisibility to try and deceive the golems, but I want to fight as many of them as I can, and to do that we're going to need this magical warhammer, because some of them are only weak to blunt weapons of a certain enchantment, and some of them are only weak to slashing weapons of a certain enchantment. And then there's the iron golem that's pretty much not weak to anything that we have. We're going to use haste here, and haste both Corgan and Terry. And everyone else as well, not that we need to haste them. Now we're going to save again, and then we'll see if we can take care of this. It's going to be a little bit tricky, and I've tried this more than once, and it's always ended in failure more often than not. You're going to grab this here, and then both of these golems are going to get quite angry. The stone golem needs to be taken care of by Corgan, the flesh golem needs to be taken care of by Terry. They hit extremely hard, and some of them have the ability to slow. The stone golem is the only one currently active, and the stone golem is going to do quite a good job of hitting Corgan. Corgan has a pretty impressive armor class, and still, he's nearly gone. We need to heal him quite a bit here, because there's still one more encounter that we're going to have to survive here. I think we're going to have to heal him up here with heal, because we're going to need full health for the next part. The next part is going to involve another pair of golems, a stone golem and another flesh golem, for they are guarding this item here, a really powerful axe. The flesh golem is going to be dealt with by you, and you can take care of that one. It's not going to take long to take care of the flesh golem, a few hits from Terry is all that it takes, but this part is going to be challenging. It's really a match of who gets the first few lucky hits, and it looks like the golem is doing pretty well here, so we're going to have another healing spell thrown Corgan's way. There we go. Unfortunately, we have now lost haste, which is one of the edges that we had against this golem. There's slow. Slow is not good. There's a reason why I have another haste prepared, so that we can be hasted up to counteract the effects of the slow. Also, you're now at 22 health, which is really bad. I actually want you to come off a potion to gain health instantly. We only need to get a few more hits here. There we go! We're victorious. What we want to do now is move all of you out of the way and have you get a little bit more healing, Corgan, because you're going to be very important when it comes to taking care of the final golem that we're going to fight. You're going to grab this, and then you're going to run, because these golems are going to try and fight us. You're going to try and fight there, which is really awkward because you're blocking the way, Mr. Iron Golem. I want you to go over here, there we go, and we're going to lead them around in a circle, which means that we can get through here, and now you can fight this golem. This golem, by the way, is attacking really quickly. This golem is hasted, and that's not good for Corgan's health. We do not want to go in there and fight that iron golem. We are really not prepared for the iron golem. Clay golems, ooh, clay golems are really tricky. They're really tricky because they can still hit extremely hard. We don't have any really good healing here. I'd rather not lose Corgan to a lucky hit. We only need to get, there we go, one more hit, and we can now leave here and leave the golem to being stuck in there forever. Fortunately, the iron golem is too big, and there aren't things like the fact that the doorway is too small and yet the monsters can squeeze through. If they actually can't get through, they can't get through. We got all of the goodies, which is really important because some of these goodies are awesome, like this battle axe here. Frost Reaver +3. This was the axe of Ilgarth, a frost giant that terrorized northern communities long ago. It is not known where he acquired the weapon, but he took a perverse pleasure in unleashing it upon small folk, particularly halflings. Ice and acid maimed those not killed, and the giant would laugh coldly if he recognized his handiwork from a previous visit. Ultimately, a group did manage to kill him, and at the request of his victims, Frost Reaver was buried with him. It's a +3 axe with +1 cold damage and +1 acid damage, giving us a really good weapon to deal with the trolls. We're going to have you use that right now. What else do we have here? This bow. The Elven Court Bow +3. This yew-bow is more a work of art than a weapon of war. Fine engravings dance over the polished wood, and the bowstring gleams of gold, almost singing when drawn. This was a ceremonial bow in the Elven Court for 1,000 years, though it is scarcely a single lifetime in Elven terms. Every 50 years or so it was granted to someone who had performed a great service, the recipient eventually choosing who would hold it next. 2 centuries ago, a human, Yin Pon, rescued an Elven prince and was gifted the bow, which he carried with him to Baldur's Gate, where it was subsequently lost. It is a +4 bow. We're going to be using that on Terry for sure. It's a fine bow and much better than a composite longbow +1. This, I believe, is not that special though. It is, ooh, maybe it is something special because you can't identify it. What is this? The Kneecapper +1. The Kneecapper, or the Capper as it is affectionately known in dwarven circles, is rumoured to have been forged by Clan Geddon himself. He gave it to a small clan of homeless dwarves that they might carve a place for themselves amongst the giants and ogres in the area. the hammer has been passed from hero to hero, occasionally finding its way into non-dwarven hands. This is a +1 weapon, but it's +4 versus giant humanoids, and it deals a lot more damage against giant humanoids. It's a good weapon to have. What we want to do right now is we want to definitely go back downstairs and recuperate, because we're not doing so well health-wise. We have consumed a fair amount of healing to get those items, but it was certainly worth it, and the party is extremely tired right now. Makes sense. We're not going to be going to take care of that golem. The golem is an obstacle that we are not prepared for right now. Time to rest.
I could really use some rest.
You just had some rest, and now we can go over to the forge here and assemble the Flail of the Ages. Once we've done that, we'll pop over to the roof, and then I think we'll go to the basement. There are a lot of enemies in the basement that we need to worry about. Overall, I think that attempt at dealing with those golems went remarkably well. There were a number of attempts that went extremely badly. As in, we had the first encounter, and then instant failure.
I'm waiting.
Let's use this. You place part of the flail on the forge, and the work begins. The hammer begins to pound as invisible forces bring up a chain to attach to the magical ball. A short time later, the flail is ready. We have received 22,350 experience, and we have the Flail of the Ages +3. This flail has been in the care of Lord d'Arnis for some time, a relic of his adventuring youth. It has been kept disassembled, the individual pieces stored in separate locations, and only used in the direst of emergencies. Lord d'Arnis was likely concerned about the powerful magic that the weapon radiated when compiled, and rightfully so. A trail of destruction has followed it through history, leading straight back to the original owners. The flail was the creation of the warlike Rakshasa, a race of vengeful spirits that crave human meat, and used as an adaptable weapon that could suit any battle. During a particularly violent hunt, the flail was lost, only to be returned when they used their affinity for magic to locate its powerful aura. They discovered that the weapon had found its way into the hands of a great human warrior, and the battle that followed was truly splendid. They have since used the item as bait countless times, losing it again and again. Powerful items gravitate toward powerful people, and powerful people yield the most glorious battles. It has a 33% chance of slowing a target for 20 seconds. It is a +3 weapon. It deals 1d6 +4 damage, and 1 acid damage, 1 cold damage, and 1 fire damage. It's a pretty decent weapon. You require the Flail Morningstar proficiency to use it effectively. It's going in the bag, because at present we don't have much use for it, but hey, we've got it, and that's progress. We'll get these identified. We know what they are, though. There we go. Now we're going to head back upstairs and head to the roof, I think. We don't need to grab anything here. The roof is where there are going to be quite a few opponents to take care of. I think there'll even be some Yuan-ti for us to deal with. Yuan-ti are actually something that I'm looking forward to fighting because they don't have the regenerative ability of trolls. That said, they do have spellcasters, and I do need to be wary of spellcasters. Speaking of spellcasting, I haven't got buff spells cast on you yet. Time to get that done. Don't want you to be caught off guard after all. Now that we've done that, let's head upstairs, and there are 2 sets of stairs to the roof. We'll use these ones first. Why? Why not, eh? They're closer. We'll save before we go up there, and we'll quickly see just how dangerous the upper area is. The answer is, there are Yuan-ti here! No surprises there. You can fight that Yuan-ti, you can fight that Yuan-ti, and you, with this weapon, can fight that one as well. How many are there? Just a couple, and they're pretty much gone. There we go. You're getting hit by something. I'm gonna have you go over here right now. Oh yes, you're getting hit by burning, that's what. Fortunately, it only deals a tiny amount of damage. And now you're fine.
For now.
Terry Coleman, Butcher of the Sword Coast. Word of your passage has reached Arm. Your reputation earns you my respect. Are they really calling me that? Do you not hear it as we walk the streets? Do you not see the looks given you by the peasantry and nobility alike? Your infamy may someday rival my own. Yes, someday soon. Tell me, Ballspawn, when you enter into the fray, stare your enemy in the eye and attack, what is it you feel? Relaxed. I just let it happen. A warrior born, without fear or hesitation. Interesting. There is more to you than meets the eye. A woman has to have her secrets torn. Yes, I suppose you do. And when we come back, folks, that's what happens when you don't wear the Cloak of Dragomir and decide to go out into the sun. Not surprisingly, the vampire in your party starts burning up, though I thought it would be a lot faster than it ended up being. And when we come back, we'll explore the roof of this castle. And hopefully we'll find more Yanti to fight. I was thinking that there was some invisible opponent that was firing a flaming magical effect at Hexat, and then I remembered, oh, daytime, vampires. Gotta remember that. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.